So today I want to talk about why it can be so challenging to change really strong beliefs and what you can do to make it easier. So in one of my previous videos, I talked about the ego and how the ego allows us to perceive ourselves as separate beings in this 3D, 4D reality. And the ego is literally just constructed of beliefs that we have about our past and beliefs that we believe are possible for us in our future. So you can imagine if it is the very thing that allows us to be grounded in this experience, if we challenge one of those beliefs, we're literally challenging our very existence. So our thoughts and our beliefs are things, they carry their own energy. And when we try to shift them, our ego perceives it as a threat, and our ego is not a bad thing. It's literally just what allows us to perceive ourselves as separate. But when we try to change those beliefs, it literally feels like a threat to our very existence. And the way to make it easier to change beliefs, make it easier, make your reality more malleable, is to acknowledge what the belief is doing, how the belief is serving you or has served you in being able to carry out the experiences that you've had. So let's say, for example, you have a belief that you can't have certain types of friendships for whatever reason. You believe people can't be trusted, whatever the belief is, because you've had so many experiences where people have broken your trust. Well, you've constructed that belief because of the way you're perceiving your past so that you don't experience the same thing in the future. You're trying to protect yourself. Well, that could be keeping you from having the types of experiences that you want to have with people. And we can go into why you may have had those past experiences or how you can change your perception of them. But what I really want to focus on is being able to look at that belief and say, thank you. You've served me well. You've protected me. I understand what you were doing. And this is a part of what shadow work is, right? Looking at our motivations, looking at our beliefs, digging them up, really understanding the true underlying contributors and motivations. So if you look at that belief and you say thank you, you show gratitude, you don't treat it like an enemy, it's going to feel safe enough to step aside and be replaced with a new belief. So you can say to that belief, yes, I have perceived my past experiences with people a certain way. And for that reason, I don't feel safe exploring close relationships because I believe that this is what's going to happen to me again in the future. And then you can say to yourself, but I've been challenging this belief because you've been doing whatever work it takes to expose yourself to new possibilities. So you can say to yourself, I see friendships that are great. I see the evidence that there are other people who are having the type of experience that I want. So I don't need you to protect me anymore. I see evidence that it's safe to get close to people. I know now that this is what I need to do in order to get close to people safely. So you can build up certain skills to understand how to assess someone's character, whatever it is that you decide to do. My point is, if you tell that belief, I'm safe now. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for serving me in whatever way that belief served you in the past. I would like to put another belief in your place. Then there's a sense of safety around your ego because you're not destroying your sense of self. You're not dissolving what separates you from others. You're just moving one belief and replacing it with another, making room for something new. And you would be surprised at how effective this is. And if you, let's say you try this exercise, right? There's something you want to experience. You identify the belief that you're having that's preventing you from experiencing that. And you go to the belief and you examine it. You try to make it feel safe and it's not working. That means that you need more evidence of the new possibility that you're trying to attract. So at that point, you would begin to just question it. You may not fully dismiss the belief. You may say, hey, I would really like this belief to be different. I just don't see enough evidence that that's possible. And you might even ask your higher self, can you show me evidence that this is possible for me? Can you give me clues? Can you tell me what I need to do next in order to begin to soften up that belief, to make myself feel safe enough to go to the belief and tell it I don't need it anymore. I'd like to replace it with a new one. So there are stages to this, but the one thing that we have to stop doing is demonizing those negative beliefs or allowing ourselves to continue to operate in fear. A lot of times those beliefs that we hold are protecting us from something that we fear. It's helping soothe anxiety that we have about our future experiences. And if we ever want to stop living in fear, we've got to address that. We've got to acknowledge that fear. And we've got to figure out how to equip ourselves for the opposite of fear, which is unconditional love. And really, unconditional love, when we're looking at our whole self, the God self is the only thing that actually exists. Anything other than that is just has been created by us to facilitate this experience. So it's possible to examine all your beliefs that are based in fear and anxiety and find your way back to unconditional love and safety and faith, essentially, because that is the essence of who you truly are. So if you're struggling in life, a lot of times this can cause us to get frustrated. And especially if you're viewing this type of content, you can feel like you're betraying yourself and you just can't quite figure out what it is that's holding you back. Oftentimes, it's those beliefs helping you to address anxiety about what you believe will happen in your future. And the first step is to look at that anxiety head on, look at that belief head on, start to challenge it, start to soften it, start to convince it that your ego and your identity can survive, even if it's not there to hold you together. And like I said in my previous videos, what I mean by that is literally all you have is the present moment, right? And your present moment, how I am perceiving my present moment, is held together by who I believe I have been and how I interpret my past experiences and who I believe I can be. And if that gets fragmented, it can cause things like mental illness or multiple personality disorder. So it is important that it be held together smoothly, but you can influence it, right? You can change your beliefs so that you adjust your perception of your past and your beliefs about your future and create a life that you truly desire. But don't demonize those beliefs that are in place. Everything that is happening in your experience is serving you. It's serving your soul's growth. It is serving, whatever purpose your soul had, whatever lesson your soul wanted to learn in this experience, or what your soul wanted to help facilitate for someone else. Because it's not always about just your soul's journey. Sometimes you work with your soul family and you guys partner to help each other experience certain things. So there's nothing about this experience that's evil or bad. It's all just serving us. And when we remember who we truly are, we can begin to make adjustments. Once we come to that level of awareness and we reconnect with our higher self, understand our soul's journey, we can take better control over it instead of operating unconsciously with unconscious fears, the things that we kind of set up to facilitate our soul's journey for this experience and the soul journeys of our soul family. So if you're having trouble, address the underlying fear or anxiety that you have, or adjust your perception so that your ego feels like it's safe to let go of the belief and replace it with a new one.